I literally just filmed the intro to this and then realised my camera was flipped the wrong way around. So, take 2. Hello everyone. Today, as you can see by the title of this video, I am setting myself a little challenge to read 2 hours per day for an entire week. I watched a video the other day by a YouTuber called Beth. I will link her video down below on her channel, where she read for 2 hours every day, or she challenged herself to read for 2 hours every day. And it has inspired me to also give it a go, because I just feel like my reading lately, I've been better. I have read a book so far this month, and I managed to read it within the space of like less than a week, I would say, like a couple of days. So my TBR is just getting out of control, and I'm still buying books. Like this isn't even like, this is all books that I think I have read mixed in with some that I haven't. This is more the aesthetic, like, I mean, it's a work in progress. I'm still moving a lot of my books over from my parents' house, so it's a little bit chaotic and they're a little bit everywhere. But my real TBR is just in my room. There's just so many books to read and I can't stop buying them. I am a book dragon and I hoard books. But now I'm determined to be more of a bookworm and actually read them. So I'm going to set myself this challenge to try and read for 2 hours every day. I'm optimistic. I think even if I do like an hour in the morning or an hour at night, I'm optimistic that I can do this and I can do this easily. There's 24 hours in a day. I say this now, watch me completely forget. So the book I'm currently reading is Sunrise of the Reaping, which I just got last week as per my last video. And I'm only about 30 pages in so far. Yeah, I'm on chapter 3. I'm already I'm very excited for this, and I just want to get it read as much as possible and finish it before I see any spoilers, because although obviously we already know from the Hunger Games that Hamish wins his games, that's kind of a given, but I feel like there's so much we don't know about it. I want to say in Catching Fire, I remember them talking about it, but I have an image, or I have a memory in my head of how I think it goes, or how he won, but I'm also not entirely sure. I don't 100% remember. I think I still will be surprised, and obviously actually reading about the whole experience will be different than just a couple of pages in Catching Fire. So I am looking forward to that, and obviously I'll be curious to see just how Hamish ended up being, or going from the person we've met at the start of this book to character in the Hunger Games, where like he was Katniss's mentor, he was an alcoholic, he had like a pretty shitty life, he had no one. So I feel like this book's just gonna break my heart, and that's just gonna be, yeah, I'm not ready. But as I say, I am determined to get this read before I see any spoilers, because I just don't want to I don't want to see some great big thing of like, if they say something like, what about that one scene with his mother and his brother where they chopped their heads off right in front of him, and I'll be like, what? That's not a spoiler, by the way. I don't imagine it was. But that's not a spoiler or anything, because I don't know anything, I swear. But like something like that, like a shock, say there's a shock value moment in this book, I want to read it. I want to read it firsthand. I don't want to be scrolling through TikTok, because TikTok is so bad for it. And I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see nothing. I've already seen the odd little bits and I've been, and I've managed to not read anything. I've seen something that's talking about the Hunger Games and I'm like, nope, gone. Nope, no Hunger Games content for me. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read a couple of chapters just now. I might time myself. In Beth's video, she had a stopwatch going, so I might do that as well, just to make sure I'm definitely doing my 2 hours. I am actually losing my reading light because it's getting darker. So last night I did my 2 hours of reading. I would say I kind of did over it a little bit, so that was good. I've read a really good amount of the book. I'm about halfway through it now. So I read up to chapter 14. I'm on page 192. I was on 36 when I started, so I'm reading it fairly quickly. Suzanne Collins, The Woman That You Are. No notes. No notes at all. I'm enjoying it so far. But there's so much has happened already that I would class as spoilers, that if I had seen something online about it, I would have been annoyed, because it would have took away the shock value, because there's just already been things that I'm just like, oh, And I swear, even though this is like an early Hunger Games story, but it's not quite the same. I remember reading the Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, and there was the odd name thrown in, but it was more surnames. Like, I remember there being a Heavensby, and I was like, oh, I think that's that Plutarch. I can't pronounce his name, but Plutarch. Did they pronounce it like Plutarch? I don't remember how they pronounced it in the movie. But I was like, oh, wasn't that his surname? It must be a relative of his, and things like that. So the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was like way too early to feature any other character from the Hunger Games apart from President Snow, because he an old man. Whereas this is 25, 24 years before Katniss's games. So there's been a few names mentioned. I picked up on stuff that I'm pretty sure, like, we've met Katniss's parents. I'm pretty convinced. It has to be. I just don't remember Katniss's dad's name. I don't remember if they told us in the book. If they did, it never stuck with me. So when I was reading this, but I was like, is that? Hold on. But I think it is him. I think it's him, and I think we've met our mom, and I'm a bit like, oh, I think it is. I could research it, but I'm not going to. But, like, I think we've met Katniss's parents, and then names have been popping up while Haymitch is in the Capitol. It feels like a Marvel movie with a cameo in it, like the old days when cameos used to happen. Like, I've kind of fallen out with Marvel, but when cameos used to pop up and like Stan Lee would appear, names are being dropped, people are turning up, and I'm like, it's giving on your left. Portals opening, everybody you've ever met is back. I made a couple of guesses, or I made a guess, and it was right, and I was like, and then, yeah, it's been good so far. I'm a little bit like, oh, like, I'm curious to see how it's all going to pan out, because, like I say, I don't remember what Catching Fire said about Haymitch's games. I remember a little bit, but I don't fully remember. Like, I haven't studied it. I thought I had an idea. I think I maybe still have an idea, but I'll be curious to see it all pan out in this, because there seems to be a plot of it, and that's all I'm going to say. Very excited. Very, very excited. So it is currently 1:45, and I have to be at work at 4. Day 1 under my belt, did Monday, and I'm obsessed. I took it out of the dust cover just because I find hardbacks easier to read when you've not got the dust cover. Is that what it's called? The dust cover over it. But I freaking love this. It's so beautiful. I love my bookmark too that I have. It has a little dangly bit. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and read a bit more before I go to work. Tell the soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aiden it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Bekego, I am reading to you. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Are you falling asleep? He looks so unimpressed. I'm already feeling quite sad. I'm at chapter 15, at page 205. And I'm really attached to the tributes that Haymitch is going into the arena with. So if you don't know, this is the quarter quell, so that means they do something special. So it's like the 50th anniversary. For the 50th anniversary, they're putting in twice as many tributes. So there is like 48 tributes in total, whereas normally there'd be 24, so 4 from each district. So there's more people. I believe I read or I watched the Hunger Games first, or I knew the story of the Hunger Games before I watched it, before I read the book. So I already knew that Peeta and Katniss both made it out together. And I feel like apart from Rue, we never really got attached. I mean, speaking for myself anyway, you never really got attached to any other tribute because Katniss didn't really socialize with them. There was a couple that were named. There was a couple, like, there was Foxface, there was Thresh, who actually saved Katniss from Clove, things like that. But you didn't even see them die or anything like that. So at least, well, you did start Foxface, but Thresh, don't know if Thresh did get mentioned in the books, but I know in the movie it kind of was just alluded to that you heard like a yell and you're like, oh, that was probably Thresh. He gone. And then obviously Catching Fire was a bit different. The stakes were higher, but they had a plan, and like half of them all escaped anyway when the arena collapsed. This one, however, I am like, there's no hope. I don't know if there's gonna be a cover up. Like, I mean, I don't want to say stuff that could spoil anything from the book, but I'm sort of like, is there, like, I can't see anyone else surviving. Like, we know that Haymitch is the victor, unless there's some, like, I know with, like, in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Lucy Gray's win in her games is basically covered up because it was a bit of a shit show. They just, like, wiped it from existence. Whereas with this one, I'm like, I don't think they didn't. So, and I feel like I remember how one of them was mentioned. I recognized their name when they were raped. I remember it from Catching Fire when they were discussing Haymitch's games, and Katniss's mum said something like, I knew that person. I feel like I remember how they died. I have thought in my head of how they died from Catching Fire. Funny how I remember that from Catching Fire, but I do not remember anything else about Haymitch's games or how he won. But I'm like sad because I'm attached to them and I don't want to lose them. I'm like, and then we're meeting other characters as well from the other districts. There's only one that I remember by name. The rest are kind of escaping. Well, no, there's a few. But I'm a bit like, I don't want any of them to die. I don't want this to be, I'm more attached. I'm more attached than I ever was reading The Hunger Games and even reading Catching Fire because, like I say, I knew what was I knew it was going to happen to all of them. So I wasn't as attached because I already knew that most of them were fine. Whereas with this, I'm like, I don't know and I don't want them to die. Ah! I also have to be at work in 20 minutes and I don't want to stop reading. I don't want to stop. It's so good. I love Suzanne Collins so much. Like, I feel like I want a book from everybody. Every character ever, like, I want Finnick, I want Joanna. I would love a book from Peeta's perspective. You know how Stephanie Meyer did a new Twilight based, like, from Edward's perspective? I want that, but Peeta. I want, what else do I want? I want Mags's games. I want all of it. I want all of it. I really do, because I can't get enough of her writing, and I can't get enough of this universe. Definitely some of my favourite books of all time. Like, favourite universe. I love it. It's so, so good. Back from work, and it is about 9:30. So I read for half an hour before work started. So I've got an hour and a half to read tonight. So I am picking up where I left off. We are just about to go into the arena. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm going to try and get all my reading done just now. I might even just read for a little bit and then go and get ready for bed and then read the rest in bed. But I'm scared. We're going into the arena. I'm very scared. I am on chapter 18. I am a good chunk of the way through. And I've read for an hour 30 minutes, I think the timer said. So I'm getting through it. I might read the last half hour in bed. I just don't want to stop reading. I want to slow down because I don't want the book to end. But at the same time, I'm enjoying this one more so than I think I did the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I like the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. However, I didn't really enjoy the games as much because it was very much like the early years of the Hunger Games. There was less technology. The arena was just old and crumbly. I feel like it was over within a matter of a few days, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. Haymitch's games, is very much reminding me of Katniss's, where it's like, you know, you've got the hovercrafts that come and retrieve the dead bodies. They have the projection when, like, at night, where it tells you, like, this person died, this person died, this person died. It feels more like Katniss's games. So, and also, it's different being from the perspective of the person who's in the arena, whereas Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, it was from Snow's perspective. He was watching the games, and he was relying on watching footage. So obviously it was better because in a way you could see everything going on that was happening to the other characters and like what was happening to them while Lucy Gray was off hiding or whatever. Whereas this one you're just seeing it from Haymitch's perspective. We're hearing about people dying, but we're not knowing like how they've died, when they've died, what's killed them. Some characters are able to give you some information, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. I do remember his games now more so from Catching Fire. When they were talking about it, it's sort of coming back to me. I'm like, yes, I know what you're talking about. I remember this. I remember. So I'm still curious about how it's all going to pan out because there are plans afoot and I am curious to see how it all plays out. But it's so good so far. It's so good. This is definitely a 5-star read. It's just so good. It's so good. And I'm still obsessed with how it looks. It's bloody beautiful. Boop. Yep. Well, it is 2:30 in the morning. But I finished. I finished. I don't really have any words. Except I've definitely done my 2 hours of reading. I've actually technically done my 2 hours of reading for Wednesday. Is this Wednesday? This is Wednesday. Yes, I've technically done my 2 hours of reading for Wednesday since I've been reading non-stop. Am I gonna let it count? I don't know. I might, because I might need a break. Because I need to start something new now. I don't really have the words. I have questions. I could do a review, but I don't know yet. I really don't know. I feel like there'd be no way to do a review without talking about spoilers. I don't know if I really want to do that. It's been a while since I stayed up late reading a book. Because I literally couldn't put it down. I finished. And now I don't know what to do with myself. Hi. Good morning. So I had a little bit of a cheat day yesterday with my reading challenge in that I didn't actually read anything. But I didn't fail, technically, because on Tuesday night, when I was finishing reading the ballads, Songs of Birds and Snakes, I finished reading Sunrise on the Reaping, and I stayed up until 2:30 in the morning to finish it. So technically, I already read for 2.5 hours on Wednesday because once it hit midnight, it was officially Wednesday. So I did my 2 hours on the Tuesday and then I kept going until Wednesday. So I ain't cheating. I did it. So I ended up yesterday, I just decided to take a day off because my mom and dad came up to visit. My dad cut my grass and I cooked dinner for them and I just had a chill day with them. So technically I didn't fail. I already did it. But now I don't know what I'm going to read today because I finished Sunrise on the Reaping, so I need to start something else. And I don't know what I want to read yet. My bookcase is behind me just here. I have like it's a little bit disorganized. I started to redo it and then I realized I didn't have much space for all my new books, so they're all just here. I'm not really sure what I'm in the mood for. I want something fun, I think, or just nothing too serious. I don't think I really want to go down the route of like fantasy. I'm kind of tempted to pick from one of my new books. I'm really debating trying Let's Split Up because I heard it's supposed to be really good, or when I was buying the book, she said it was really good. So I'm kind of tempted to go for Let's Split Up. It's not too big. It's supposed to be a little bit scary though, I think. Like, ooh, I think it's a little bit spooky wicky. I don't know, but I think I might try it. Might get my fangs into it. Also just because I've just been excited to read it ever since I bought it because I just love the cover. So I might go for this one. If I'm not really feeling it, if I feel like I'm not, like maybe if I don't like it or maybe if it is a bit scary, then I might move on and do something else because I suppose I need to stick to the same book. My book buying is getting a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, so I think I'm going to try this today. So I am going into town to do a little bit of shopping. It's not a very nice day today, so I'm actually feeling a little bit in the writing mood. I'm a little bit inspired, but I think I'll start I'll at least give myself a head start and make a start with the book. Hi. Oh, hello. Okay, so I've read for 1 hour and 20 minutes already. I am on chapter 6. So far, I'm not overly sold on the book. So the story is, so far what the story is about is two teenagers, Bradley and Shelley, were in a mansion, like an abandoned mansion, and the guy Bradley is filming, or he has like, he wants to do his own, I think it's called Truly Haunted, but he wants to do his own like ghost show, but he wants it to be really good and like really serious. And so him and his girlfriend, she's filming him, go into this mansion, and the two of them end up dying. They think they see a ghost, and then they end up dying because the candle that they were carrying fell and caught fire. They've burnt to death. And then the rest of the book now is following, it's jumping between perspectives. So there's the main characters of Cam, Jonesy, Amber, and then there's a new girl, Buffy, but so far I've not had a Buffy chapter, so I don't think Buffy is gonna get POV. We've only really just discovered that the two teenagers have been killed. The police are saying it's a tragic accident, that they've burnt to death, and already the townsfolk are like, was it the ghoul? Like, did they die because of the ghoul? The ghoul that's haunting the mansion? Because the original owner of the house had burnt to death like 70-ish years ago. So that's the ghost that Bradley was investigating for his little show. And the townsfolk and there's a news reporter guy called Rick, and he's very much like, now tell us, Sheriff, like, is it the ghost? And I'm just already like, what? Like, it already feels very, very fake. I'm trying not to take it too seriously. I went into this book thinking maybe it was quite serious, but it's a bit of if it's a ghost story, then, you know, I just couldn't decide from the get-go if it is going to be a mystery or a ghost story, because, you know, it's like the movie, like the woman, when I bought this book, the lady in the shop told me that it's a sort of spoof or spin on like Scream and Friday the 13th. Or was it Halloween? I think she said Halloween actually, not Friday the 13th. And Scream, although is like a scary horror movie, it's still people. Like, it's still people that are doing it. It's not a ghost, it's not a ghoul, like, it's people dressing up, doing the killings. It is a bit of a mystery because we don't know who's doing it. So that's what I was expecting from this, but so far already I'm a bit like, is it gonna be a ghost? Like, I'm a bit confused. I just can't get over how the townsfolk are like they've not even said that they've been murdered. They're just like, oh, you know, they were in this mansion, they've burnt to death. Yes, it's a bit eerily similar to how the original owner of the house died, but they're like, there was a candle, blah, blah, blah. It's a tragic accident. And everyone's like, but is it the ghost? And I'm just like, would people really go on this way? Like, would they really go on this way? If, like, we had a house, I mean, this is supposed to be set in a really small town, and everyone takes this house seriously, that it's not like a haunted house. If there was like a house that we were all like, oh, it's haunted, I just couldn't imagine people in the news, especially. I get maybe the news anchors just wanting to like get a bit of screen time, get a bit of like 5 minutes of fame out of it, but I just couldn't imagine being like, is it the ghost? So I'm already a little bit like, what? I'm gonna keep going with it because I think it could be good. I'm curious to see how it's all gonna pan out. The two main characters of Cam and Jonesy are just clearly in love with each other. Buffy, so she's a new girl. She's literally just moved here the day that everyone finds out about the killings. I'm a little bit like, what's her story? Because already some of the characters are a bit like, I don't know about you, we like you, or you're in our group now, but I don't know what we think about you. I'm a little bit suspicious of one of the teacher characters just because he was coughing. Right in the very first chapter, our character of Cam bumped into him in the hallway and he was coughing. He goes, oh, it's my allergies. And I'm like, or is it smoke inhalation because you were in the house? But I think I might be being a bit too dramatic, but I'll remember this. I will remember this. Coughing from smoke inhalation because you were in the house, you set the fire. It's a bit bonkers already. No, it's not really, but sometimes I struggle with books if the way characters are don't really feel authentic, don't really feel real, and like I say, everyone's a bit like, these kids have been killed. It was a ghost, and I'm just like, what? Really? But we carry on, and we'll see how it goes. So the kids have just cornered the reporter guy called Rick, who was the one who was like, now tell us, Sheriff, is it the ghoul? And while they're talking to him, they're like discussing, saying, because if it wasn't an accident and it wasn't a ghoul, something more rational would mean murder. Silence falls over us all. Are we really suggesting Brad and Shelley were murdered? How have we jumped from a town legend to this? Rick gives a slow nod. I can't say that, of course. I don't have any proof, and I've got my career to think of. And and it sounds better that you're saying it's the ghoul? What is it, the ghoul, Sheriff? It sounds better for your career to say, but is it the ghoul? Instead of just being like, but sir, but Mr. Sheriff, could it be murder? That just feels so out of pocket, because what do you mean? What do you mean about your career? I have my career to think about, because it makes way more sense for you to question, are we really sure it's an accident? Like, could foul play have been involved? That would make way more sense logically. But instead you're like, but sir, is it the ghoul? Is it the ghoul? I'm just like, what? I feel like it would be career suicide for a news reporter to stand up and be like, this seems a little bit suspicious to me. Was it a ghost? Did a ghost do this? Are you kidding me? This book, I'm gonna need to make notes. I need to make notes. You know what? I'm gonna write a letter. So I'd been thinking about it a wee while ago to start making notes when I read books, because a lot of times I say I want to do a review, and then by the time it comes around actually doing a review, everything's gone from my brain. So I'm like, it'd be so much better for me to actually make notes so that I can then recall it. So I got this notebook from my friend a while ago, and I thought it's the perfect notebook for note taking. My little like reading journal. I don't know if I'll necessarily document every book I ever read, because some don't really need to take notes, don't need a review, but some do. And this one certainly does. We are getting back on track now. The police have made an announcement. The two teenagers were murdered. So I'm glad. I'm glad we have now already got over the ghoul thing. But I mean, for how long it lasts, I don't know. Thank God. So I did my 2 hours of reading yesterday, and I'm now halfway through. More than halfway? Oh, I'm more than halfway through Let's Split Up by Bill Wood. I'm going with it. I'm going with the flow. I'm just going. It's not entirely my cup of tea. It's a little bit gimmicky. I'm finding the way the characters are talking to each other feels very fake, very cliched, very sort of not very fleshed out. Everything's happening so quickly as well. I feel like one day these kids were murdered. The next day everyone found out. The next day was when they went to the library to do a bit of like sleuthing, and they were looking for newspaper reports about the house that burned down, the house where the kids had been found in. They wanted to find out stuff about the landowner, perished in a fire 70 years before. the four characters, you've got the character that's very driven, that's like, let's solve the mystery. And then you've got the character that's like, let's not. And the character that wasn't convinced was like convinced within like a sentence, basically. It took no time at all for them to be like, but let's go do this. And they're like, okay, fine. Okay, fine. As if they're debating going out for ice cream, and one of the people is like, I don't really feel like ice cream today. And everyone's like, well, let's just go. And they're like, okay, fine, let's go. Like, this is, they then went into the murder house about the halfway point in the book. And true to the name of the book, they split up. One person went missing and the other split up to look for him. And it's been a little bit, I just can't make up my mind with it. The townsfolk are very like, they believe in the legend of the curse. When Robert died in the house fire, he cursed the house and he cursed the land. But the townsfolk seem a bit kooky. The reporter guy is useless. And the characters are just weird. You've got the new girl, Buffy, who everybody, Cam and Amber and Jonesy, are all like, there's something not right about Buffy. What are you doing? What's wrong? What's the matter? He never normally makes noises. That's weird. Did you see ghosts? So everybody's basically questioning there's something not right about Buffy. Nobody's actually asking her anything. Which they could. They could do a little bit of prying. They could do a little bit of digging. It's probably going to be a big reveal at some point. Like, she's probably going to be involved one way or the other. So far, though, I'm not overly sold. I'm going with it. I'm not a big fan of the flow. Its reading is very, like, Wattpad, where there's no real details. It's very much like A to B to C to D. Nothing's feeling very fleshed out. Even when they were in the manor house, the details weren't enough for me. I couldn't visualize it, if this makes sense. I'm not overly sold. I don't hate it. I'm not a DNFer, so I would never give up. I'm determined to see it out. Who knows? I may even get the surprise of my life when things turn out and it's like, actually, it was a ghost all along. I really don't know. I'm gonna keep going with it. I'm gonna do my 2 hours of reading today. I don't like reading it at night because there is that little part of me that, like, it is a bit spooky because the person that's doing the killings is dressing up as the ghost. It's very Scooby-Doo. It's not actually that scary, but I'm just kind of hyping it up to myself, especially at night, because I'm like a little bit on edge, because I'm waiting to be scared. And there's a couple of times it's been a bit creepy, but it's more like Scooby-Doo scary, where it's like, you know, they're investigating stuff, and then all of a sudden you turn around and, oh my god, it's the ghost of Robert. What's his surname? I was going to say Carlisle. That's an actor. It's the ghost of Robert Carrington. He's come. It's the ghost and all that. So I'm not really that scared, but at night it's a different story. So I read for half an hour just today, and I'm still a little bit wary about the book. I feel like it's not, it's still a little bit silly. So one of the characters was hurt, injured. I thought they were going to be killed, but they were just injured. And now the other characters are like, we can't rely on the police. We must solve this ourselves. And they are getting a lot of stuff handed to them on a plate, which we're supposed to assume that the killer is doing, which I'm like, why? I also just feel like the pacing of the book is very quick. Like, one couple were killed. Another guy was like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to solve this. I'm going to go to the manor. I'm going to get justice for Brad and Shelley. And then he immediately died. That was a little bit silly, I thought. He just immediately died. We think it's all about hidden treasure, that this Robert Carrington has had treasure that was never found, and they think that's what the killer is looking for, which is very Scooby-Doo. It is, the whole thing is reading as like very Scooby-Doo, except for people are being killed instead of, usually like in Scooby-Doo, if people are getting in the way, I think they're supposed to assume that the people that are getting killed are because they were getting in the way. In Scooby-Doo, if people start to get in the way, they just get kidnapped. It's just feeling a little bit silly, which I guess I wasn't really expecting. I don't know what I was expecting from this book. I think I thought like the gang are gonna go in and try and solve things, and it ends up being a real ghost. It ends up being, I don't know. I don't really know what I was expecting, but it's not what it's been so far, definitely. Like, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting something, I don't know. I don't really know exactly how to say what I was expecting from it, but it wasn't this. And it's still reading like a Wattpad story to me. And when I say that, I just mean anytime I've ever read anything on there, it's always very basic, very simple. There's not much detailing. The pacing moves around very quickly. We go from A to B to C to D before you know it. And before you know it, you're at Z. Z? Am I American? Z. I mean, we will battle out to the very end. See, like, it may still surprise me. I'm not completely like shutting it off. Like, it may still surprise me. I don't know. I just don't really know what I'm expecting now. I hate when I'm a bit apprehensive about books and I end up being like, this is dumb. Because I would never want anyone to say that about me. Like, your story is whack. It's dumb. It's just giving kind of like tween teen. Like, I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait. Is it YA? Because that would explain a lot. Okay, so yeah, so on the very back, it says, look out for more nail-biting YA horror from Bellwood in autumn 2025. That's this year. Let's Split Up is his debut traditionally published YA novel. Well, that explains a lot. Although I feel like adults books can be set in high school. But now that I know it's YA, this makes way more sense about how the book is. A little bit. Just a little bit. I still feel like it could be, the writing could be a little bit better. Not better, there's another word to use, but I just found the pacing of it felt kind of like, now that I know it's YA, it does remind me of like the pacing I would see in the books I used to read when I was younger, like that kind of, they always have a bit more of a fast pace, like, so that makes a bit more sense now. That makes a bit more sense now that I know it's not really intended for adults, it's young adults. I'm a young adult. I'm young. But I feel like now I'll actually enjoy it a little bit more now that I know that it is catered for young adults. I'm gonna try and read for another half hour and then I'll head off to work. What are you doing up there? What are you doing up there? Huh? Huh? So, it is Tuesday. I failed my reading challenge by 2 days and technically 4 hours. So let me just set the scene. So I stayed up late on Friday night, but not too late. Like, I remember it wasn't after midnight, I don't believe. But I stayed up and I finished reading Let's Split Up. And let's just say that last quarter, the final showdown, as the book referred to itself, it lost the plot. It didn't lose the plot. It stayed true to the plot. I lost the plot reading it. I realized that not only was the book, I had a discovery along the way when I realized the book was YA, but even that couldn't save it, because I accepted my fate and I was like, okay, you know what, it's YA. That's fine. That explains a bit. Not everything. It didn't explain a lot. It explained a bit. But then read the rest of the book, I then realised it just read like a children's story. I've done a full review. So this is my excuse of why on Saturday I ended up not doing any of my 2 hours of reading. And that's because I sat down for 3 hours. 3 hours doing a review on this book because I just could not live with it. I could not live with how pent up and the rage. I was so mad. I could not live with it. So I had to do a review. So Saturday was literally taken up by me doing this review. And then I made dinner for myself because I was starting work at 5 o'clock that day. I made dinner for myself. And then I sat down to do another review of Sunrise on the Reaping. That I ended up having to cut short because it was time to go to work, so I had to leave. That's what happened on Saturday. And it wasn't until Sunday morning when I was suddenly like, I didn't read yesterday. I didn't read. Oh no. So that happened. Then on Sunday was Mother's Day here in the UK. So I had a day out with my mum. We went and visited my grandparents, and then we did some shopping, and then we got a chippy tea, and we sat and ate it in the car, and then we had ice cream, and it was just a really lovely day. And I stayed with them for quite a while and didn't come home till later on, so I didn't even think on Sunday. And then yesterday I was like, oh, I forgot to do my reading for 2 days now to finish off the challenge. So then I thought I could just film myself reading anything and pretend, but I'm not a liar. I am not a liar, so I was not about to do that. And then yesterday I ended up just having a lazy day, and then I was at work from 4, and I came home and I played the Xbox, and now I'm like, I didn't read again. So today's the day. So I'm determined to finish the reading challenge in terms of I am going to read 2 hours every day for 7 days. Just not specific what 7 days it's going to be. So I'm going to attempt to do a bit of reading today. It's a really beautiful day. I'm off work, but I need to start something new because I finished Let's Split Up. So actually, do you know what? This challenge though has done really well for me because now I've read 2 books. I read 2 books last week in 5 days. Let's Split Up was really easy to read. Like, it took me 2 days. It's one of those books I could have actually read in a day, but it was a really easy go and read, probably because it read like a children's story. But anyway, you can check out my review on Let's Split Up when I finally get around to editing that, because oh boy, that is going to take me all day. That is going to take forever, and I'm not looking forward to it. So on Sunday, when I was shopping with my mum, we were in Tesco, and it had one of those bookshelf donation things where people can donate books. You can buy them by like putting a little donation into the pot. So I always have a little browse because you never know what you might see in there. And I actually picked up 2 books. So I picked up Murder Before Evensong by the Reverend Richard Cole. And I also got The Baby Dragon Cafe by A.T. Qureshi. I think this book, I'm having a sense of like deja vu. I feel like I've seen it before. I feel like I don't know where I've seen it from. I really don't know. But the cover just took me, and I didn't even read the summary. I just saw the cute little dragons, and I was like, this looks very cute. And then I just thought I would give this book a go as well, because I quite like Richard Cole's. He was in I'm a Celebrity last year, and I love a good mystery, and so I'm like, I'm gonna give it a go. So I might read one of these today. I don't know which one though. Will I go for The Baby Dragon Cafe, or will I go for the Murder? This feels like it could be cute and light-hearted fun. I might go for The Baby Dragon Cafe, even though like I've got a TBR as long as your arm, longer, as big as this house. This sounds quite cute, so I might go for this one. So hopefully I'll do my 2 hours of reading today and continue on with the challenge. Remember when I said the other day I was going to do my 2 hours of reading and carry on the challenge? I read for an hour. But that's okay, because the challenge continues today. I've already read for an hour in the sunshine today, and I'm going to read for another wee bit now and then just keep going tonight. I did start The Baby Dragon Cafe, and it's okay. It's cozy. It's quite tame. It's sort of different. It's different for me because it's sort of fantasy, because there's fantasy creatures in it, but it kind of reads like, I don't really know if like what it's trying to be. If it's a bit of a romance book, I guess, because you can tell that our main character, the man that she meets, are like, they fancy each other, and it's probably going to be a romantic book. It's just a little bit, everybody's very huggy. They're all hugging and kissing each other, and I'm like, what is happening? The guy came to deliver pastries from the bakery to the cafe, and she kissed him on the cheek, but it's just a friend, and I was like, what is happening? But I started reading again today, or I've been reading this book for a while now and I just haven't got around to finishing it yet. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This is a reread from another video I'm doing where I challenged myself to reread popular books that I hated the first time I read them. So the first one was Caraval, and then the second one is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, because I remember I could not stand this book the first time I read it and everyone loved it. So this reread has been going on for too long, to be perfectly honest, too long. I don't even remember when I started. I think Caraval was over a year ago, and I started this one almost straight away, and then it's kind of been sitting on my shelf for a while. But I am about 3/4 of the way through it, and I've picked it up again today just because I am determined to get my reread finished, to get my video finished. So I've already read for about an hour. I'm just going to keep going with this for a bit. I might go for a little walk though because the weather is really nice. Please do not pay attention to the really dodgy tan on my hands. I was messing around with a fake tan last night. So I have finally finished day 6 of my 7-day reading challenge. It's been a mission. It's already been a week since I technically hit day 5. But last night I pushed myself and I sat and I read for over 2 hours actually. I think I did about 3 hours in the end. And I finally finished reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which was part of a video that I was doing where I was challenging myself to reread popular books that I initially did not like, just to see if my opinions had changed. So you can check that video out. I'll link it down below. So I finally finished it. I had been sitting on it for probably like over a year, bloody months. It's been terrible. But I've finally done day 6 of the challenge, even if it is not quite a week. It's okay because I'm still getting through it. I am getting through my reading, which is what the point of this challenge was. I have another book under my belt and it was something that I had been sitting on for ages. So I might try today. I don't really think I have time just now before work. I'm not going to be able to get my 2 hours done today, which is a bit of a bummer. I mean, I could read right now, but I'm due at work at 4 o'clock and I have stuff to do. And I'm trying to edit all these videos that I'm currently filming. So I'm probably going to give it a miss today, but I will try and get it done tomorrow. And I don't know yet what I'm going to read next because I have started reading The Baby Dragon Cafe. I am on chapter 7. I'm on page 76. It's okay. It's not really me. It's giving like cozy fantasy. I think it's set in this time period, but everybody has dragons and there's other mythical creatures. The story is about a girl, Saphira, who has a cafe that she allows baby dragons into. So sort of like a cafe that allows dogs. There's all of these people that own baby dragons and have dragons, but you have to be part of like this dragon family to own a dragon. Saphira is not, but she would have loved a dragon. There's this man whose brother died and left him a dragon egg, and now he's stuck with this baby dragon, which he sort of doesn't really want, but he also does because it's the only thing his brother left him and it reminds him of his brother. And he has recruited Saphira to help him train the baby dragon because it does not listen to him, but it listens to her. So far, it is quite cute. Both the characters fancy each other. Finding it a little bit off-putting that we get chapters from Saphira's perspective and we get chapters from Aiden's perspective. They're told in third person. And we already know that they both like each other. And I think I prefer stories like this where it's one-sided. I like going along with the main character and being like, we fancy this man. Does he like his back? He's a bit grumpy, he's a bit this. She's more like, she's sunshine, he's a grump. But we already know that he actually likes her too. And I just find that a little bit like, oh, like I already know. And so I know that by the end they are probably going to get together. That's probably how it's going to go. But I mean, there could still be like, things could happen. It could be, I don't know, I can't just jump to conclusions. I just sort of wish that I didn't get his perspectives as well, because I would love to be able to just enjoy the little crush with Saphira without actually already knowing that he likes her too. but that's not a big deal. So I'm curious to see like what's gonna happen. I think this is a love story, I presume. Some of the stuff that Sophia says in her chapters makes me think we're setting up for like different things. So there's illegal dragon racing that she says doesn't happen anymore, but we know from Aiden's chapters that the rich and the people who have dragons do still do illegal dragon racing. I'm just curious to see like how all these different things are maybe going to tie in. I feel like it's a nice like light-hearted read. I'm sort of in the mood for something a bit more nitty-gritty, so I might read something else instead at the same time, because I really enjoyed last night after reading Baby Dragon Cafe jumping into A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, because it was more mystery, suspenseful, like let's solve the mystery gang kind of thing. I'm still in that kind of high of a good mystery that I think I would quite like to read some more. So I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna read. Hello. Please ignore the fact that I'm getting darker and darker as these videos are going on. I've been playing around with fake tan and yeah. So I said I need to find a new book to read, and I still don't even know what I'm in the mood for. I'm not really feeling the Book Dragon Cafe at the moment, so I may pick up something different. So I was having a little look at my bookcase because I've got so many books and I just don't know what I'm in the mood for. So rather than reading something new by an author that I don't know, I'm going to go for something new written by an author that I do know and I do love. So I'm going to try Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I love Gillian Flynn. I love Gone Girl. Gone Girl was one of those books though that I already knew the twist, so it wasn't the same as actually getting to read it in real time and enjoy it. But I did read Sharp Objects by her and I remember loving it. I think I'm going to give this a go. It is a lovely green colour. It's very fluorescent. So I'm going to go outside and sit and read for a little bit because the sun is shining and I don't have to be at work until 4 o'clock. Let's jump right into this. I'm not even going to tell you what day this is. I'm just not. That's not information I'm going to share with you. I'm not going to tell you how late in the challenge I am. But I just wanted to check in to say that I've finally done my last day of reading for 2 hours every day for 7 days. I've finally done it. I don't even remember what day it was that I actually read for 2 hours last, but I did that. Whenever it's the last update is where I said I'm gonna read for 2 hours. I did it. And what did I read? I don't remember. I don't even remember. Was it when I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder? No, surely not. Surely not. I don't know. Either way. But I've done it. I have finished the challenge. I read for 2 hours every day for 7 days. I just didn't actually do it in a week, which is a bit of a bummer considering that I did the first 5 days with no problem at all. But then I think my downfall was that it came to a weekend where I was working quite a bit and time escaped me, and it's, you know what, no excuses. I failed to do it for a solid 7 days straight, but I have managed to do it for 7 days and I plan to keep on with it. I want to keep on and keep pushing myself and actually read more this year. I managed to read 3 books in March, 2 of which were during this challenge, so I'm very pleased about that. I've already finished 1 book so far in April and I'm currently reading 2. So the book that got me through this challenge in the end there was Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I am on page 95 on chapter, they don't have chapters actually. No, they're not numbered chapters. So I don't actually know what chapter I'm on. So far, so good. I'm enjoying it. It's just very Gillian Flynn. I just love her work. I love her writing styles. I like her characters. It's even the characters you're not really supposed to like. I just do. I feel very attached. I'm already into it. I'm curious to see how it's all gonna plan out. I'd also read the first 7 chapters of the Baby Dragon Cafe. This, I feel like I'm going to go at a bit of a snail's pace just because it's okay. I am very much an action-packed, there's lots going on type of reader. So I love my mysteries, I love my thrillers, I do love my fantasy. This is coming across as like, I don't know what this would be classed as. It's very cozy fantasy. It's very cutesy, which I did think it would be, sort of with a title of the Baby Dragon Cafe. I'm like, this sounds quite cute. I have to be in the mood to read a book like this. It's currently just gonna be, I'll get through it. I'm sure I'll get through it. It feels like an easy enough read. It's not very big. If I power on, I can just do it. And Dark Places start the same. I'm really gripped by it, so I'm optimistic that I will just plow on and just get it all read. So very excited for that. Very, very excited. And also a little update today. I got a tripod that I bought from TikTok shop that came with ring lights, and it's also got a little button for controlling, like for taking photos. So first of all, I was like, it's gonna be great for taking photos when I'm out and about. Like I can set it up and stand back and push a button and it takes photos. That's brilliant. But it's also just gonna come so in handy because I did have a tripod at one point. It wasn't the best. And then I started using my dad's tripod that then I was able to connect on like a phone attachment thing, which was fine, but it was quite big and it was clumsy and it got in the way, whereas this is so small, lightweight, and just, yeah, so. It's also got ring lights on it, so that's great. So I'm loving this. So hopefully this means from now on, like, I will actually be able to film better content. And yeah, so I finished the challenge. I've done it. It was a little bit of a slog in the end because I just ended up procrastinating. And hopefully I will stick at it and I will actually continue to keep reading. So thank you so much for watching this video. And I will see you in my next video, whatever that may be. Any content relating to this. So I did reviews on Sunrise on the Reaping and Let's Split Up. I will link those down below. I will also link below my March, what I read in March video, once all those videos are posted and up, and I will pop it in the description for you if you want to check those out. If you would like, you can follow me on Instagram, Laura_lovesbooks. I also have a Twitter. I do also have a TikTok, which I may start uploading content to. I can't decide yet. I don't know. TikTok kind of scares me a little bit. But I do have a TikTok that you can also follow me on over there. I will link that down in the description box below as well. And yeah, I will see you in my next video, whatever that may be. Bye-bye.